welcome along. This is Virtual Farmer, and we're taking a look at Rodmarton. This is a map by Martin ML Gamer. It is based on a real location near Cirencester in Gloucestershire, and it is not available on the mod hub. This is a map that is available on itch.io. I will put the link to it in the description below. But we're going to have a look around it because Martin's first map, I missed it. And it was a cracking map. And so this has only recently been released. And so I want to have a look around it. Already, there's a nice amount of detail on this map. It feels very lived in. There's a lot of detail on the road. There's a lot of thought that seems to have gone into the foliage and everything. The fence down here sort of divides the two locations. We've got a sell point over there, and we've got the shop over here, which is a JCB and New Holland shop. We've got the repair area out here, and it looks like we've got, the shop on the inside. So really liking this shop area. This is absolutely fantastic. We do have a Land Rover, of course, to drive around this being a British map. And really looking forward to getting to this. Before we do that, though, I want to have a quick look at the PDA and see what we're dealing with here. And as we zoom out of this, you can see one of the things I really love about this map straight off the bat. There are no field numbers on this, so it doesn't give on the listing on itch exactly how many fields there are, but it's quite a lot. There is a field 100 or farmland 100 in the middle, which seems to be the road network. I don't think that there are 100 fields here. There could be 100 farmlands, very much, but it's a good array of them. We could have a quick count. So I've had a quick count, and I think there's about 35 to 40 farmlands here. So there's a good number of them. We can see Rodmarton Farm is in the middle here. So we're gonna go and have a look at that in a bit. There's two farms on this map. We've got Rodmarton Farm there, and we've got Lane Farm over here, and there are little sheds dotted around the map as well. There's a BGA area down the bottom here, and Slate Barn Farm. I think that must be one of the little areas. We've got the animal market over that way, the animal dealer over there. So we've got quite a lot of stuff spread out around this map. So let's see what we've got in the way of prices. We've got Trent down here. That is 422,000. 442,000 for Ingot. Crumps up the top. There's 458. And so Crumps appears to be the most expensive piece of land, at still under 500,000, which is a really good price. And then we've got Fool in the middle here. I think this might be our smallest bit at just 31,000. So there is a decent range of farmland on here. Our central farm here, that appears to be 176,000. So a decently priced farm to get you started. So I'm liking that a lot with the map. There's some very, very nice features. The field names especially, I absolutely love that. And I love that he's found a way to do that with this map. If we have a look in the available and owned production chains, one downside to this, and I did know this coming into it, is there are no production chains at all on this map. There is a decent sized placeable area if you want to place your own productions, but I would rather have the extra sell points with pre-placed productions. So I do miss that, and as you guys know, on my previous map tours, I have said many times that I would much rather have I'd really like to see some productions built in. So yeah, there is that. If you're looking for productions on the map, you are going to have to go and pre-populate the map with your own productions. And I think I might put together a video on how to do that, because we've had so many map tours now where productions aren't part of the maps, that I think it would be wise for those of you who want to add productions to a map before you start playing, showing you how to go about and do that. So let's head down into the middle of the map, and immediately we open out into this expansive countryside. Really like the cracked road that we have here. Gives a good feeling of this being a road that has not been that well looked after. We've got quite a queue of traffic on here, and I think this is partly because when I first spawned into the map, I was standing in front, or standing on the road, and I think it's caused a little bit of a traffic jam. But we can follow this traffic into town without too much trouble. We are heading down this main road here, so there's lots of very big fields, quite a long drive down, and I think we'll take our first turning to the right, so that we can have a look at Lane Farm. Now in here though, we've got our first bit of extra detail. So we've got a yard here. So if you're looking to do maybe a contracting series, or a series starting with very little, there are areas that you can do that, where you can get your own sort of little barn area to get started. I really like that as a feature. It really gives a lot of flexibility to a map. Loving the houses. The houses look really, really nice on here. So we are going to take this right hand turn and head down here towards the first farm. And I'm kind of keeping an eye out actually on the farm tracks that we've got between these fields, trying to see if there's a way of navigating around this map that isn't just going round the main fields or down the main roads. There seems to be a farm track off to the left down here opposite this gateway, so we're just going to pull in here. We'll jump out of the Land Rover and into here, start our engine back up, and in we go. Again, farm tracks looking quite nice, very feeling a little bit big and a little bit wide maybe, but otherwise very nice. Loving the sandiness actually of those grass tracks. We've got some good storage sheds here. This is a nice little farm. This I think must be one of the satellite farms it talks about. So a good barn to start with here. This to me is again a great little contractors area. How much was it when we were looking at this? 58,000. So yeah, if you came in with a start from scratch or a contractor setup, Lane Farm is a great place to start. Lots of space for expansion. Looking really good. Looks like we might have a road through the bottom here and down to the bottom of the map, which I think would be a very good place for us to go. Yeah, very much thinking you could expand around here. Now, I have started with the start farm, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to sort of identify where that is by the end of this map tour. I think I saw a tractor down the bottom. So let's head down this road, going past Beckett. And you can see what I mean by it feels like the roads are a little bit wide. Now, this Land Rover is a little bit small, but the tractors, I think, are gonna, especially the smaller tractors, gonna struggle to straddle this, and it's kind of what's making me bounce around quite a bit. Is the width of these roads. So we're gonna sneak down the side of this field here, hoping that there's an exit down at the far corner. This is the thing on a map that doesn't have sort of a circular road. We always end up trying to find ways to sneak down and across the fields. And does this have a wall in here. No, we can't sneak through the hedge. There we go. So up to the edge of the map here. Nice edge of the map. It hides it fairly well. Unless you knew, you wouldn't know that you're coming up to it there. And coming back along these roads. I think I'd like to get a bigger tractor, or a large-ish tractor on here, because this does feel a little bit like a 2-lane dirt track at the moment. We do have I think this is a farmyard. In fact, yes, we have equipment down here, and this may even be this is our starting farm. So we've got a farmhouse over here. We got a decent set of sheds. I recognize most of these sheds as sheds from the mod hub and from other maps, so that would suggest to me that if we come into this mode here, yes, we have got customizable yards, which is fantastic. Also, start farm is right next to the BGA. We don't own the BGA, and I think the BGA on this map, you need to actually buy the land for the BGA to work, which is unfortunate, because then the BGA isn't a sell point straight off the bat. So you have to go and sell anything to the animal market or a different bale sell point. So yeah, it does take a sell point off the start of the map, but it is here if you want it, and might be quite a good place with the starting farm being so close to the BGA, to try and get the BGA early on and make some good money from it. So we'll head back up this way again along these very cracked roads. Somebody should really speak to the council about this. They are they're not bumpy though. My Land Rover isn't bouncing around too much on them, so it's not too bad. Big placeable area here, so I spoke about this earlier. You could, if you are wanting to set up the map before you play it, put a lot of placeable stuff in here and then assign them to not be owned by your farm. It is a decent sized placeable area. I'm not sure, looking at it, it doesn't look overly flat, so it'd be interesting to see how well items being placed on here work. It does feel a little bit like it's on the hub. And so what I'm going to do is we're just going to go in again into the build mode, and I'm just going to grab a production. So let's just grab this. Let's just, yeah, you can see here that I'm not sure. You might end up with having quite a bit of strange shaped bits and pieces as you place various bits, and I think it's going to cost you a little bit. So one unfortunate thing about it is the placeable area isn't completely flat, so you may have an interesting time of placing stuff on it. Down the sides here is a dead end, so we'll turn around and head back and then head out this way. We want to head towards the middle of the map where we've got the other farms. So we found one of the main farms and the starting farm that you get. It's a lot of really interesting, got lots of roadways everywhere on here, and I think it'd be very easy to get lost. In fact, we have a sell point just in here. So round the back of here, there are 4 sell points in total on this map. Wow, there's quite a large grass field in the middle there. I don't know how you get to that sell point that was around the middle section there. There's a sell point down that way as well, and then we've got the big farmyard in the middle of the map up here. We've got yeah, cattle signs here, and I'm guessing this is our road up to the farm. So we'll jump out here and head up the roadway to the farm, and in we go. Yeah, this is nestled quite nicely back here with cows. I think this has, yeah. So we've got a cow shed in here. Good rustic yard. Feels a little bit run down. This definitely feels like somewhere where you could play with a sort of a rundown farm starting position. A few older tractors, and that I think would be a lot of fun on here. Looks like a great map for that kind of play style, taking an old rundown farm and building it up. So definitely a cool angle to take this at. And then we're going to head out back down here through the center of town. Again, the lovely attention to detail across this map really is showing through on here as well. Everything is interesting to look at. This is a beautifully crafted map. It's got a decent level of playability. It's only his second map as well, and I'm really quite liking the amount of features and work. Are there a couple of things that I would like a little bit different? Absolutely, but that's true of any map really. And this is a very well crafted map. There is a lot to love on this map, a lot to love, and I think having a good playthrough on it would be very cool. I'm very tempted to have a go with something on here. Maybe a used machinery series would be fun on here. We'll do that again, doing the whole everything is a little bit rustic and a little bit old, and we need to build things back up. I think we go quite well. This is quite the queue of traffic that we are finding ourselves behind on a regular basis on here. But this is taking us all the way out to the top up here, and probably our final destination, I think, as we end up here at what appears to be the animal market. So yeah, nice custom animal market built into the map. I like that. We've got some good sounds up here, and I'm guessing what a bale sell point up the top. Possibly. It doesn't overly look like a bale sell point. We do have the sell everything mod in here, so it could be that those are built in with that. But yeah, that is looking very cool. And I think actually we've made it the whole way around the map. Let's have a look. We have gone, yeah, we've come down here. We went around there, around the bottom there, up. Looks like there's a road through and round there if we wanted to go that way. Quite a long way round to that field. And yeah, that's we've been around the map. So, the only place we haven't been actually, and I'm going to cut back and we'll go and have a look at Slate Barn Farm, because that will then cover all of sort of the yard areas that are on here. It is a really interesting, very cool map, this. There are a lot of great features. There's a lot of potential in what he's done in building this map. It looks like a really playable map. As I said, there is a lot of detail in it. A lot of work has gone into making these road sides look very good, about putting a level of detail in that makes the whole map interesting and not just be roads with some hedge along them. They've actually got bushes about and have been made really interesting. So that is very cool. Where is this roadway? Have I driven past it? I might have driven past it. I think it looks like it was on the previous turn, but I'm not sure. Actually, there was a roadway there. I think that might be an edge of a field, and if it is, I think we might go back down to the main farm just to clear things off. Yeah, so there should be, if I'm right, a roadway up here, and there is not. So yeah, not sure how you get up to that top farm. I'm guessing that you go through the middle of the map somewhere. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell. It looks like it's out the back of Rodmarton Farm in the middle here. So we will just head back that way and see if we can make our way up. It's not down the sides there. And yeah, the next roadway is through the back of the farm, which is interesting because that road means that it's right up the back. So that actually is something to take note of. The vehicles go right. It's very single track roads. If you've got a combine harvester on here and you're traveling along these roads, you're either going to need an escort vehicle to stop the traffic, or you're going to need to turn the traffic on or off on this map. I think that might be something you end up finding yourself having to do in order to successfully negotiate many of the roads around here. So yeah, we've got a road now through here. Like it. Oh, this track here, really good width, really good sized road. This I think is the kind of size I'd like to have seen all the tracks on this map. I think this one is the one that to me at the moment is working the best. It's the closest to the kind of scale I would expect. So yeah, much better along this one here. This farm is right out the top, up the back here, and over the crest here, and it looks like, yeah, so this is one of the satellite yards that you can go and create your farm at if you want. Do we have a house up here? I think we just got, oh wow, we just got a couple of sheds. And in fact, so that's Slate Barn Farm. It looks like it's got a sort of a, yeah, sheddy bit. We've got a good edge to the map. I do like this. So like Saxlingham before it, we don't have a sudden drop off at the edge of the map. Really like that a lot. And then down the side here, yep, we are going to bring ourselves back to the start, and up the shop here there is just this track that sort of runs across the side of the map here, brings us back on here and back down to the shop where we first started. Wow, this is a nice map. It's well done, it's well constructed. There are, as always, are a few bits and pieces I would like to see added and done extra, but in general, it's a well-made, very playable map, and it has customizable yards. Because those are the two things we tend to find on that I tend to find in map tours, is that either we don't have customizable yards or we don't have productions, and invariably it's one or the other, and in this case it's the productions that we're missing, which, as I said, one of my big arguments for productions these days is start of the game, it adds so many more sell points. Right, let's have a look then at what we have in our garage. We're using the garage mod, of course, and anything in the cars other than the Land Rover there is not. So looking at the tractors, we start off with a Fendt 728 Vario at 303 horsepower. To go with that, we've got a Potinger Servo T6000P plow, a Bednar Omega 006000 FL direct seeder. For the yield improvement, we got the Breedel K105 fertilizer spreader, and then we have a 10-winkle pack 1500 weight. Do you know what? There's hours on that. Have we got hours on all our equipment? Oh wow. So just going through the equipment quickly, there's a lot of hours on this equipment. So that really fits in with the slightly run down feel to this map. The equipment you start with is really, really heavily used, and it's going to be stuff that you want to change out fairly quickly. That is fantastic. I absolutely love that this map starts with that, and it's such a good touch that you don't see on many maps. To me, that's a really good sign of a map creator who is focused on gameplay for their map, because that really sets up gameplay early on a map for every setup. So absolutely wonderful. Very pleased to see that. Awesome map. If you want to give this map a try, head over to itch.io. I will put the link down in the description below. But yeah, Martin, fantastic job. I cannot wait to see you do more. Thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Huge thank you as well to all of my patrons and channel members. These videos are only made possible thanks to your support. If you want more from Virtual Farmer, please check out the videos on screen now or subscribe for more. And I will see you next time.